This is a Columbia Type B graphophone, often called the Eagle, because a base machine cost $10, and that was the nickname for the $10 gold piece that was in use at the time. The Eagle cost $12 when it was sold with a wooden base and cover. But there was also a brief period in 1898 when the Eagle was offered with a highly nickeled and polished finish, which is what we have here. It's very unusual in that it cost an additional $3, so it was 25% more expensive than an ordinary Eagle with a cabinet. But it gave a bit of bling to the machine that is kind of unusual, because this was a very basic machine with an open works motor, everything fully exposed. But when they did the nickel-plated version, they plated everything, all the gears, the governor balls, the screws. It's really pretty remarkable, and it's a dramatic difference from the brushed steel surface that you find on conventional Eagles. This one is even more unusual in that it has an attachment which is a Polyphone attachment. And these attachments were invented in 1898 by the Chicago Talking Machine Company and are found fairly often on Edison machines, but for Columbia machines they're quite rare, in large part because they were extremely expensive. It cost $15 just for the attachment. So that turned this ordinary $10 machine, when they added the nickel plating and the Polyphone attachment, it jumped all the way to $30. Very expensive machine at the time, especially since towards the end of the sales period, the Edison Standard with Polyphone, a much more substantial machine, sold for $5 less at $25. So it was a odd attachment to sell, and also a very difficult one to adjust. The Edison is not exactly easy, but the design of the Columbia floating reproducers makes this extraordinarily difficult.
One key difference is that in the Edison Polyphone attachment, the styli are just 3/4 of an inch apart.
In the Columbia Polyphone, the styli are fully 1 3/8 inches from each other. So this creates a longer lag time between the two styli reproducing the sound, which creates much more of an echo effect than you find in an Edison Polyphone. It's not hard to understand why this was not exactly a wild success.